We have to begin with the sad news coming from Australia, and that has to do with British tennis superstar Raducanu. Yes, she rolled her ankle in the last 16 match, and that means that she's now doubtful of the Australian Open, which starts in 11 days' time. That's quite shocking, it must be said, especially for British tennis, as she's definitely one of the great hopes that British tennis can go far at the first Grand Slam of this year. Away from tennis, let's talk some basketball. Yes, the regular season is heating up as the playoff spots and playing spots are now being keenly contested by various franchises. The Los Angeles Lakers had to do without LeBron James, who was out due to illness. Remember, Anthony Davis is still battling with the foot injury, but that didn't stop them from getting a win against the Miami Heat, and it was 112 to 109 points victory for the Lakers, with Dennis Schroeder scoring a season high 32 points to guide them through. He amassed 4 rebounds as well as 4 steals to be able to lead the Lakers to a win. Russell Westbrook played his part with 21 points, 9 assists, 8 rebounds as well as 3 steals, while you had Thomas Bryant with 21 points and 9 rebounds in there, not forgetting Austin Reeves with 11 points, 5 rebounds and 3 assists. Everyone playing their part. It was an injury-plagued Lakers. LeBron James, as I said earlier, missed due to illness. Anthony Davis due to foot injury. You had Looney Walker, the 4, who is also battling, with injury. Meanwhile, for the Miami Heat, Bam Adebayo scored 30 points, had 13 rebounds as well. Jimmy Butler was limited to 27 points, while you had Kyle Lowry with 11 points, as the Lakers did a good one over Miami Heat. Well, quite a handful of matches yesterday in the Premier League. Remember, you also had the Italian Serie A as well. But let's start with the Premier League. Spurs, Tottenham Hotspur in action against Crystal Palace. It was a derby meant to be, more difficult, more competitive. But at the end of the day, Hurricanes' brilliance, Tottenham's, quality definitely shone through, and that ended in a drubbing. 4-8 ended in favor of Spurs over Crystal Palace. Hurricane, on his 300th appearance in the league, scored a brace there to get Spurs up and running. You also had Doherty's side footing the 3rd goal, not forgetting Hugminson right there on your screen, scoring the 4th goal to wrap up, the drubbing of Crystal Palace. Hurricane was a handful for the defense line of the Crystal Palace defense, and they were just all over the place. You have to give credit to how Antonio Conte's men responded. Remember, the previous match ended in a 2-0 home defeat in the hands of Aston Villa, but this time around there was a bit of urgency to their game. You had more of an intention. There were decisive passes in there, and more importantly is the finishing was there. The profligacy we saw against Aston Villa was not there this time around, as Spurs were all about the business. It was also good to see Hugminson get on the score sheet after a few games without scoring. Hurricane once again proving that it belongs to the elite class when it comes to Premier League greats who score goals. Well, away from that, let's look at other matches that we played yesterday. The Italian Serie A made a return, and defending champions AC Milan were away at Salernitana, and what a match that was. It could have been 5-1. AC Milan were all over their host and duly got the lead early on, with Rafael Leao, the talisman, getting the goal. Well-deserved goal too, it must be said. Rounded up Mexico's goalkeeper Guillermo Ochoa, who starred at the just concluded World Cup in Qatar. Rounded him up for the first goal, and the second goal was a decent strike by Sandro Tonali to get Milan 2 goals up. They had other goals cancelled as well due to VAR intervention, and Brahim Diaz got one on the score sheet, but that didn't count before Salernitana scored a late consolation goal. But Milan deservedly getting the win. More importantly for them, chalking up Napoli's lead from 8 to 5, and that means that the race for the Scudetto is currently on. Milan will definitely not want to yield their crown without a fight. Still talking about the Italian Serie A, let's turn our attention to the biggest game of the Italian Serie A week, which was Inter Milan against Napoli at the Giuseppe Meazza Stadium. That was a match that had all the bearings on it. Napoli wins, and Inter Milan are in danger in terms of a title challenge. A win for Inter Milan would definitely see the title race heat up, and that's what just happened. Edin Dzeko headed Inter Milan into the lead and gave them the win, and that was the header right there on your screen, as Inter Milan ran out 1-0 winners over Napoli. It was a match that was well deserved for Inter Milan. The first half was frantic. They had Napoli on the ropes. Napoli trying to hit on the counter. Napoli had decent chances, but for the better part of the game, Nigeria's own Victor Osimhen was, kept at bay by the defense line of Inter Milan. You had Chanalonu running things through. It was good to see Lukaku again. Yes, not the Lukaku of old. The confidence is lacking on about 2 or 3 occasions. He had decent runs and could have, had an attempt at goal, but decided to play in his teammates. Dumfries proving once again that he's so instrumental to this Inter Milan side. Had to take one for the team late on in the second half. There it is on your screen, pulling down, the defender, the striker right there when Napoli were breaking away on goal. Overall, beautiful football right there on display. We hope that will be the case tonight, and it's Manchester City against Chelsea Football Club at Stamford Bridge. This is a match that has all to play for. It's a high-stake encounter for both sides. Manchester City are 8 points behind Arsenal at this point in time. A win for them will see them reduce the gap to 5. So it's a must-win match for them. On the flip side, you have Chelsea, who are not doing good at this point in time. They're 10th on the Premier League table, and they need to win this game to make a push, up the table, especially for a top 4 fight. Remember, both sides met at the Carabao Cup this season, and it was a 2-0 victory in favor of Manchester City.